Hey, Hardy fourth grade, Miss Prince here. I hope you all are safe at home after the storms last night and doing well as we get back to work this week on our packets. Our ELA video for this week is over theme. Now, if you'll remember, theme is different from main idea. Theme is a lesson that the author is trying to teach you through the story. That's different from main idea. Main idea is what the point of the story is. What happens, what's the main subject or topic, what facts can you take away from the story. But the theme is the lesson, the rule of thumb that the author wants to teach you via the story or the narrative or the essay that you're reading. An example of this is the tortoise and the hare. The story goes that the rabbit, the hare, is so convinced that he's going to beat the tortoise in this race that he goes and takes a nap while the tortoise is running, and then the tortoise ends up beating him. And so the rule of thumb you can take away from that, or the lesson that the author tries to teach you, is slow and steady wins the race. The tortoise tried hard the whole time. He just kept going like the little engine that could, and he won the race in the end. And the hare, the rabbit, who thought he was better than the tortoise, did not win. So it could also teach you to be humble. That's another theme you could pull away from that story. So today we're going to look at Out to Win, a story that's in your reading packets this week. This story is written by Wendy Barrell. Oh, there we go. As the annual school track meet approached, all I could think about was defeating Anna Banks. For the past 3 years, she'd beaten me in the 400-meter run, and always by just a step. No longer would I be satisfied with second place, however. Dissatisfied, I planned to win this year, and I couldn't think about anything else. I became obsessed with beating Anna. My thoughts focused on one goal all the time: winning. Naturally, I did more than just think. I practiced my starts daily, and I ran and ran and ran. On the day of the race, I was eager to compete, and by the time we gathered at the starting line, I was really pumped. Bam! The starting gun fired and we were off. Anna and I quickly sprinted ahead of the other racers. When we shot across the finish line, I wasn't even certain who'd won at first. Then I heard the announcer. It was me! Still breathing hard, Anna rushed over, smiling, and shook my hand. You were great, she declared. Good race. Right then, I realized that I'd been looking at the situation all wrong. Before, I'd been thinking of Anna as if she were some powerful enemy out to destroy me. But Anna wasn't my nemesis at all. She had no urge to crush me. In fact, she had given me an opportunity to become a better sprinter than I ever would have been without her. So that's the end of our story. Now, as we're thinking about theme, again, I want to reiterate how that's different from main idea. The main idea of this passage would be Anna runs a race, or the narrator runs a race against Anna. But the theme is a lesson you can learn from it. So I want you to take a minute and look back at what we just read and think about what that lesson could be. All right. One lesson you could pull from this passage could be practice makes perfect, because our narrator practiced and practiced and practiced. She ran and ran and ran, and she ended up succeeding. She met her goal of beating Anna. So that could be one lesson you could take away from it. Practice makes perfect. Another lesson you could take away could be not to jump to conclusions about people. The narrator looked at Anna as if she was this nemesis, this enemy out to destroy. But really, it was just good competitive fun. They could have been friends and practicing together all along. So you shouldn't judge a book by its cover or look at a situation and jump to a conclusion before you have all of the information. That's another theme you could take away from it, is don't assume or don't jump to conclusions, because the narrator just assumed that Anna was her enemy without really getting all of the information or giving her a chance and getting to know her. So those are two themes you could pull away from this story. Gonna scroll down. Now, as you complete this packet, you're going to be looking at the context clues that helped you figure out the meaning of unfamiliar words. So the unfamiliar words you're going to be looking at are dissatisfied, obsessed, and nemesis. You're going to write the context. That means the sentence that it's in or the way it's used, the possible meaning. That's the definition, what you think this word means. And then the clues. What clues in the story helped you to figure out that meaning? So if we were to use dissatisfied, we'd look up. Oh, scrolled too far. There we go. Dissatisfied. I planned to win this year and I couldn't think about anything else. That doesn't exactly tell us what dissatisfied means. That just tells us that she was obsessed with trying to win. She kept thinking about it. So let's look a little bit further ahead of it. For the past 3 years, she'd beaten me in the 400-meter run, and always by just a step. No longer would I be satisfied with second place, however. Dissatisfied, I planned to win this year and couldn't think about anything else. So in context, we would put that Anna was no longer satisfied with being in second place. She was dissatisfied. And then our possible meaning would be not satisfied. We also know that from this root dis, which means not. It's negative. It's the opposite of satisfied. She is not satisfied. And the clues that we used is that root, or that prefix. For that root satisfied, we used dis, that prefix, and we looked at how the word was used in the passage. Anna said she was no longer satisfied. Those words, those clues, helped us to figure out that meaning. So now it's your job to go back and do that with the word obsessed and the word nemesis. If you have any questions, please comment below and let me or your teacher know if you need any help with this packet this week. Bye, friends. Miss and love you all.